WWE Games dropped a bunch of bombs on us today because we have WWE 2K25, all 3 covers revealed, plus a brand new trailer featuring a brand new game mode that we've never had in a WWE game before. And today we're going to look at all 3 covers, talk about the trailer, and talk about the new game mode called The Island. First off, we know the official cover for WWE 2K25 was Roman Reigns on it. It was put on Steam by accident, then they pulled it back, then they put it back up now because WWE 2K25 officially has that Roman Reigns doing the pose, the Superman pose, and then a picture of him in the background. Pretty cool cover, if I do say. I see Paul Heyman down there in the corner. That's pretty sweet. We also have the Deadman Edition, which has The Undertaker on it. Pretty clean looking cover there. And the Bloodline Edition, as you see there, all the Bloodline in there, which is pretty cool. And we see at the bottom it says it includes up to 7-day early access, and you get that with the Deadman Edition and the Bloodline Edition. Now, I want to go off the previous editions of WWE 2K24 to say what we might get in these editions of the game. The Standard Edition gives you the standard copy of the game for $59.99 on all current gen consoles. You got PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Plus, you get the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S, digital and physical formats. Plus, they included 1 month of Peacock. Don't know if they're going to do that. Maybe Netflix. I don't know what they're going to do there. Deluxe Edition gave you the game. This was $99.99. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S, physical and digital forms, or PC and digital form. Deluxe Edition includes Standard Edition with the 1 month to Peacock. Don't know if they're going to do that. Nightmare Family Pack plus Season Pass to all 5 post-launch DLCs. My Rise Mega Bonus, Super Challenge, Rexley Evo card, My Faction stuff. Okay, so what we're looking at here is all DLC content. This is Deadman Edition. All DLC content plus My Rise something plus My Faction something, and alternate attires for certain people if they want to put in maybe Undertaker or some whatever there. So that's what we're looking at for that. If they're going to include like more Undertaker attires or, you know, maybe different mode or something, they could. I just think maybe, you know, we get all the DLC post-launch and stuff like that. And then we had the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition last year. This is the Bloodline edition. It's for $119.99 US dollars, you know, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC. In addition to the Standard Edition, you get all bonus content, and it includes 5 WrestleMania Alt attires and 5 My Faction cards, WrestleMania 40 Arena, 1 month of Peacock, and all of that. So what you're getting here for this as well looks like Bloodline. You'll probably get different Bloodline attires or people or something that you could play as officially with this edition of the game. Plus, you get all the regular content that I was talking about, maybe different arenas. They said there was different arenas and attires and stuff, but I think it's going to be Bloodline focused on that. Not any different game modes, I don't think, but we are going to look at this deluxe WrestleMania edition, whatever you want to call it. We have the Deadman Edition and the Bloodline Edition. So the Deadman Edition will give you all the DLC, and the Bloodline Edition will give you all the DLC plus a few extra stuff like My Faction cards and other things that aren't on the normal game going on there. Now, let's talk about that trailer that they dropped that gave us the brand new game mode. But before we get into that, we get a big focus on Roman Reigns here in his entire story, where he loses at WrestleMania, and then Solo Sikoa comes in, and then he's the main Bloodline man, and then there's a feud between the Bloodline and then the OTC and all that. You know the story. We've lived it. We've seen it. It's gone on and on and on. It is still going on to this day. But it looks like what you're getting here is sort of a revisionist history, or not revisionist history, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but maybe sort of a fantasy type Bloodline storyline that you want here. Maybe instead of a My Career mode, we are getting some sort of Bloodline mode with Roman Reigns. It kind of looks like a sort of a redemption or a kind of different story for Roman Reigns. So you could do like a fantasy type one where it's either you play out the current story of Roman Reigns, you know, what's going on, or it could be sort of sprinkled in with some fantasy matches here, because I saw guys like Umaga in the trailer, so it made me believe that Roman Reigns was going to go against former people in the Bloodline, which would be cool to be in the game. And then it also showed Shield versions of people, so it made me feel like we're getting some sort of past, present, future, and then maybe just some fantasy stuff as well mixed in with that. It doesn't feel like it's a true linear story of Roman Reigns and everything that went on in his career and how it all played out. But it did kind of feel like there are some certain moments in there. Maybe there's like a downfall of Roman Reigns when he loses the belt at WrestleMania, and then there's a different fantasy story on his path to get that championship back, because it made it seem like you're trying to rise to the ranks again with Roman Reigns. Like maybe you lose the belt and you got to go all the way back at the beginning and start all the way from square one. That's kind of how it seems to me when I'm looking at this trailer. I don't know if maybe also it's just what they did there is like they kind of made it look that way through editing, but also I see that there is Solo Sikoa standing in the ring in one of these trailers, so it made me feel like that it was sort of like a fantasy thing here. So it could go either way, where it's going to be going on like, okay, so Roman Reigns' career, but also we're going to look at some fantasy elements sprinkled in here. I'm actually okay with this instead of a My Rise. Maybe they do still do My Rise, but maybe sort of instead of doing the 40 years of WrestleMania or showcase mode, if you will, whatever you want to call it, instead of doing one of those showcase modes, we're going to get this sort of fantasy thing, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like a Road to WrestleMania type story, as long as they don't do a lot of slingshot stuff. If you know slingshot technology, where they show real footage and then they go to gameplay and then cut to real footage and then gameplay, and I don't like that. Just give us all cutscenes and all that, and I think that would be very, very good. Now let's talk about the mode that everybody is talking about. Yeah, let me talk to you about this, and that is the Island. The Island is going to be something new to the WWE games, which we've never seen before. It's sort of like a My Park in the NBA games, where you walk around as your created superstar, or whoever you want, probably, I'm assuming, walking around as your created superstar in this island of relevancy with Roman Reigns as the figurehead there, and there's a giant statue of Roman Reigns. It's sort of kind of mysterious looking what's going on there. Then there's an arena off to the side. I think there's another arena off to the other side, or maybe not, but a little island here, and you see guys down at the bottom and they're walking around with their jeans and their t-shirts and they're trying to level up or whatever. Maybe it's just streetwear, I don't know, but you're walking around as your player, you're trying to level up. This is sort of your online stuff and how you're going to access to play with your created superstar. I don't know if it has tie-in to your My Faction, or My Faction, maybe tie into your My Player, which is going to be like your main guy that you're going to play in the game. And then if you do a career mode like they do have, if it's going to tie into that as well. But the island is only going to be available on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, which is pretty interesting, because that means that there's a lot of power put into this that it can't actually be done on the PS4. So that's pretty cool that you're going to actually get this for those versions of the game, because I've been saying this for a long time, and I'll keep saying it again. If you want to push the envelope, you want to go forward with these games, you have to go ahead and you have to go to the next generation. And they're finally taking this step here, saying this game mode is only available on PS5 and the Xbox Series XS. You gotta get it, you gotta get it, you gotta get it, you gotta get it if you want to play this game mode, which is cool. So it looks to be an online one like My Park. You can challenge people matches and whatever, yada yada yada. We'll see if it's actually good to play, and by what I mean is if it's engaging enough, if the online play is fun enough. I know that sometimes online can't be the most fun if there's people cheesing and whatever, and some people trying to get the win as much as they can. You know, there's a lot of tryhards in these games, and you know what? No disrespect to you, but that doesn't make my experience that fun when I'm just trying to have a fun match. But again, there's ebb and flow and a balance here that you have to have. Are you trying to have fun? Are you trying to win? You gotta pick your battles here. So there's going to be a very weird dynamic here, and we're going to see how the community interacts with you. I think that's going to be the big tell here, is will this island be good when you get into the gameplay? If you're walking around doing all this, you know, cool stuff that's just like walking around NPCs and then people online, and you're talking to people and whatever and having a good time, but then when you get into the ring and play a match and it's not very fun because the matches just don't flow, or like the people are just trying too hard and they're cheesing and whatever, and it's just the competitive scene just doesn't work or whatever for this game. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's not going to work. I'm just saying whatever the community, however they interact with this, is going to decide if this game mode is a success or a failure. And I'm very interested to see how that's going to play out, because honestly, I want this to work. I like new game modes. I like that they're pushing it on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. But if they don't have the community behind it to play it the proper way, and if there's not that interaction, then it's not going to work. It just goes down to how the community plays this game and if it's going to work or if it's not. So I'm hoping that the community plays this the right way, where it's fun, engaging, and maybe they have some fun, engaging stuff here where it's interesting and it keeps you going, it keeps you coming back to it. And I don't know. I haven't stepped into this. I don't know how this is going to work. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out in the WWE games. I'll be honest, I'm kind of skeptical, but I am hopeful that it's going to be something that I'm going to look forward to. Now, it makes me wonder, with this new island mode put into the game and a lot of resources put into this, did they have to take something else out of the game to make this island mode work, or did they leave everything intact the way that it was? I'm very interested, because I'm assuming when you make a new game mode like this and you're doing something different like this, you have to put your resources somewhere, and you have to take people from another department and put resources towards this department, unless they hired more people, which I don't think they did. But if you can get these resources on this one game mode, that means they're taking resources away from another game mode, and I don't know what they're going to take away from the previous game, if there's anything they're going to do. I know there's a lot of game modes that needed some repair, needed some love. I know Universe mode needs a lot of love there, and we'll see if they did anything in Universe mode, or maybe this is tied into Universe mode somehow. I don't know, but I'm just interested to see how this is going to play out. But the island is something I'm looking forward to playing, and I want to know what you guys think of all of this in the comment section below. Are you excited about this? Are you excited about the trailers? Or do you see it and you go, I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical? Because I'm kind of skeptical, but I will hope that it's going to be good. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, I'm TonyPizzaGuy. We'll see you in another video.